Testing. Every once in a while I have a really great idea, or something that I think is a really great idea. But here's the thing. Every time I think that there's something awesome that I could possibly do, I see that it's out already. I always have this crazy great idea for an app or for a new game or for a book or whatever. And then all of a sudden, I see it being advertised on television or worse, through one of those banner ads on the internet.com. So I've come to the conclusion, the obvious conclusion, that there is a time traveler version of myself from the future that goes back in time, hears my ideas when I say them, and then he tells somebody else, and then they go ahead and they make it before I could even make it. So every time that I have a great idea, I gotta keep it in my head. I can't even write it down. You know why? Because my time traveler version of myself is gonna go ahead and steal it and then try to make money off of it. This has happened to me more than once. It's either that or I'm just not as original as I really thought I was. Well, there's nothing new under the sun, right? So every single idea that we have is basically a variation of another idea or a creation based on something else that we've seen or heard or dreamt of at some point in time, but we only dream on things that we've had some experience with. So every single new creation or creative idea is a variation of something else that already is in existence. I guess that's where inspiration comes from, and that's why I always believe that great artists steal while good artists borrow, or vice versa. Good artists borrow and great artists steal, because every time something new is created, they're actually just making it their own. So anytime that I think, man, I have this really great idea, I write it down, of course, and I start thinking about it, and then when it comes to the point where I do some research to see if anything out there is even vaguely similar to my idea, it exists already. And sometimes I think to myself, hey, maybe I can do this better. And you know what? I think that that's kind of a driving factor in a person as a creative, that they just think to themselves, or we should think to ourselves, you know what? This idea already exists, but there's got to be a way to make it better. There's got to be a way that I could just make it my own, make it cooler. One of the things that I think as a creative person that we should do is just do things because you love to do it. Don't do things just trying to be original or trying to be something brand new on the market or brand new in general. I think you should just do things because you enjoy doing it. You love and you're passionate about being creative and not so much passionate about being original. And I think that that's definitely something that would drive you as a creative. So what brings me to YouTube? Well, first off, I want to explore creatively what can be done with this medium. This is a medium that I've never touched upon really in my previous experiences. I've been a digital and print creative for over 9 years at this point, and video is something that I've always had interest in, but I never went ahead and just made the leap and tried. So YouTube will be my my hand at this creative endeavor. Also, I just want to share my passion with the audience, with whoever's watching, all, I don't know, 5, 10, 15 people that are going to be watching this video. I love to work on brands. I love to brand things, but I think that it's very interesting that I can just go ahead and dive into my passions in food and my passions in video games and movies and comic books and just share that with you guys. And hopefully you enjoy it and love it and have a great time just watching it. YouTube is a very interesting medium. It's kind of like you create your own channel and you broadcast your passions and your interests to people who have similar interests and passions as yourself. And I think this is an excellent way of just being able to share what my passions and my interests are. I love food, not a professional chef by any means, but I like to experiment with food and feed my friends when they come over and try new things. I love movies that don't suck specifically. I actually really like movies that don't suck, and I like to give movies a chance even if nobody else does. I like movies that have great storylines or are just flat out entertaining. So I'm Mr. Cheaps when it comes to video games. I usually wait for the spring or summer or winter sales so that I can purchase a whole buttload of games and then have a nice big library to play. One thing that I do enjoy is gaming, and gaming on independent games. I can get hyper competitive as well, but usually I find such a beautiful thing when people take passion projects and they turn them into games. So perhaps I'll be playing some video games on this channel as well. I plan on just giving you a few ideas before somebody from the future steals it. At least I have it on tape and somebody else won't be able to steal it from me. If you guys know that I thought of it first, I'm thinking of having a few various branded segments within this vlogging series, and I guess they'll come and go as I figure it out along. I'm thinking of having one called Typical Kitchen, where I will cook things using stuff that you find in your typical kitchen. Another segment planned called Ed Wins, where I play video games that are probably old at this point, but they're just fun to play. Another segment that I'm going to be doing is movies that don't suck, and sometimes you probably never heard of, where I'm going to be diving into movies that many times they go under the radar, or they weren't exactly critically acclaimed, or even blockbuster hits of their time or of nowadays. So be on the lookout for those 3 as of right now segments, and just the typical vlog where I just ramble and talk about random ideas that roll around in my brain. Well, anyways, guys, thank you for watching my very first video on YouTube.com. Be on the lookout for more stuff, more to come. Thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you when you see me.